Hello, everybody out there, and welcome back here with the future once again. This is going to be DVD collection update 18.0. If you haven't seen all my updates in my .0 series, go back and check out the other 17 updates that I've done. They are very reminiscent of the one I'm doing right now, but this one is complete DVDs. I do have VHS on some of them too, but I mixed them all together. So this is 18.0. It'll be DVD collection update 18.0. As you can see, I got a lot of DVDs to go over still too, so there's going to be a lot of time for a lot of videos here. But let's get started because my SD card right now is only holding about 20 minutes of footage, so I'm going to try to get this within like 15 to 20 minutes. And sometimes that can be difficult when you get off topic and start talking. So I want to send a shout out to all my friends and subscribers for watching right now. If it's your first time watching, make sure you hit the subscribe, give me a like, and give me a comment down below. And I will be very grateful for the support. But yeah, let's get on with the updates before I go off talking off subject and waste a lot of time. The first things I want to show, I picked up these from DG. I really was a fan of this show on Showtime back in the day. It's Penn and Teller BS, the complete second seasons, volume 2 and 3. I don't know how many volumes they made. There was definitely a volume 1. But the reason I picked these up is because it has one of my favorite episodes on it. It's the Bible Fact or Fiction. And I've always loved Penn and Teller, period, let alone this TV show that they did. But I was a big fan of this when it was on. You have Recycling, Profanity, Yoga, Tantric, Sex, etc., and Fountain of Youth on this one. And you have Death, Inc., 12 Stepping, The Bible Fact or Fiction, Exercise versus Genetics, and Hypnosis on this one. And one of my favorites is The Bible Fact or Fiction. You can find that on YouTube, and if you have not seen it, go check it out. It's just pretty much showing you how a lot of the Bible that's written is complete BS. I'm sorry to any big, religious fans that I have out there, but it is a good episode, and you always got to keep your mind open on that stuff, in my opinion. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but that show was great, man. Watch that show. I hope to find more of those too, $3 a piece. Here's two classic Alfred Hitchcock movies that I picked up, but these are cool because they are the collectible pop art series from Walmart. They had a Psycho as well that I wanted, but I wanted these two more. I've seen Psycho around, and I do have Psycho on VHS, along with Rear Window. I also have Dial M for Murder here that I found at Dollar General for $3, and I found this one a while ago that I showed off, and it's the North by Northwest, starring Cary Grant. What's funny is this was meant to be Jimmy Stewart, actually, but he looked too old for the role, they thought, so they used Cary Grant instead. But Dial M for Murder, Grace Kelly, Robert Cummings, a really good classic horror film by Alfred Hitchcock, and, it's Hitchcock classic movie. You can't go wrong with anything by Hitchcock, in my opinion. So definitely pick that up if you ever see it. These pop art ones with this really cool art on the front, these are slip covers too, but the cases look exactly like it. But these were great in my opinion. And this does not have a commentary on it, but Vertigo does. But really good restorations of the movie, and I'm glad they're putting these out again too. And they also had like the movie Legend, The Last Starfighter, all with these pop art covers. And you gotta love a drawn Jimmy Stewart on the front, or James Stewart if you want to call it that. But this is a great movie, Vertigo. It can get very bizarre, and the birds too. It's just classic Hitchcock stuff, man. You gotta love it. North by Northwest, you have to love that. Dial M for Murder, gotta love that. Gotta love anything by Hitchcock. I also have, Alfred Hitchcock's Lifeboat that I've showed off before. And I also have this 20 movie classics collection, The Legend Begins, of a lot of his early work. The original Man Who Knew Too Much before the Jimmy Stewart version, which I really want to find. Also the 39 Steps, movies such as The Lady Vanishes, Easy Virtue. Also 2 episodes of his outstanding series, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, which I'd love to get on DVD, but it's probably rather pricey. A lot of episodes. Shane Vase and Sorcerer's Apprentice. But most of these movies were his early days, 1930s. Like it says, The Legend Begins. But they are those, really bad Mill Creek versions. You gotta love Mill Creek's packaging. They're the cheapest way that they can ever do it. They just put it in these sleeves and call it a day. I don't like the packaging, but I like the DVD. And yeah, this was a special edition of Lifeboat. This actually had a commentary by a film professor, Drew Casper. Very interesting movie with a bunch of people trying to stay alive on a stranded boat and get back to land. As you can probably imagine, all doesn't go well. It's a Hitchcock movie. Here's a classic horror movie that I got. I like these Turner Classic Movie Bonus Buy ones, and this is a horror one here. And it had the classic Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the 1941 version. There was also a version from the same year that the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi was made too that I want to find. But I remember watching this one with Spencer Tracy as a kid, and I really liked it. No commentary on that, but you also have Freaks that has commentary on it. That's a classic, very strange movie, but one of the first of its kind. Here's a commentary on the original The Haunting, which I really want to check that out. And then The House of Wax, starring Vincent Price, the legend himself. I'm a big Vincent Price fan and Spencer Tracy fan. That's the reason I picked this up. Great buy. This is a 10 family favorites movie collection. I pretty much picked this up just because it has, the big commercial movie for Nintendo. One of the first video game movies ever made. Maybe the first, actually. You have Cloak and Dagger, but this actually had, sponsored Nintendo stuff in it. They play Nintendo in it, the Power Glove. The first time you've seen Super Mario Brothers 3 at the very end during the Nintendo World Championships, which become a thing, actually, the year after it was made. In the write-up, they say nothing about Nintendo or anything, which, they probably had to use licensings to even mention the name Nintendo, but they got the rights to the movie. You also have in this family favorites collection Cloak and Dagger, which I was wanting to get to because it is also a video game-related movie. I'm big into the retro gaming, if anybody knows me. You have Cop and a Half, King Ralph, Matinee, Sergeant Bilko, Ghost Dad, Ed, Simple Wish, and The Borrowers. I've seen Ghost Dad, Sergeant Bilko, and Cop and a Half. The others I've probably seen, but not many times. If I did, I'm pretty sure I've seen King Ralph before. The other ones I can't say that I've seen, but I'm happy just to get it for Wizard, Cloak and Dagger, Cop and a Half on there too. Can't beat that. And, Bill Cosby, the controversial Bill Cosby now. Here's a sci-fi creature classics movie that I picked up. A couple giant movie monster films here. Are not films, but DVDs. You have a bonus buy here for movie collection. Mothra, The Giant Claw, one of the worst giant movie monster movies I've ever seen. 20 Million Miles to Earth, and It Came from Beneath the Sea. And even though Giant Claw is bad, it's still so bad it's good. These two, 20 Million Miles to Earth and It Came from Beneath the Sea, were early Ray Harryhausen works, which I was really surprised to see when I picked them up, and I was like, I have to get those. Also, I got a triple feature of some Godzilla movies. You have Godzilla and Mothra, The Battle for Earth, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, and Godzilla vs. Mothra and not Godzilla versus, but Godzilla, King Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. So, not only do I have the original Mothra, I have two other movies that, involve Mothra as well. I want to definitely check out Giant Monsters All Out Attack tonight. That's a good one. But the reason I showed them off as well, my new pickups, I might as well just show off all my Ray Harryhausen works. Ray Harryhausen, and my other giant movie monster videos. You have Three Worlds of Gulliver, Clash of Titans, Mysterious Island, and Jason and the Argonauts, which are all Harryhausen films that I picked up here in the past. So that goes with my Harryhausen collection there. But also my giant movie monsters collection, ties into the Mothra one. So you have King Kong vs. Godzilla, which I've shown before, and two versions of the original King Kong. Willis O'Brien, was a big inspiration was the main inspiration to Ray Harryhausen, and he did the stop motion for King Kong. So it's very ironic, that these all tie together, because that classic 4-movie collection has not only Mothra on it, but it also has two Harryhausen early works, which were giant movie monsters. 20 Million Miles to Earth, very reminiscent of Godzilla, but came out before Godzilla, the original, which I need to get the original Godzilla on DVD, or VHS if I can find it. But there's the original, two versions of the original King Kong 2-disc special edition, and the 1933 classic and glorious black and white original King Kong here, just a regular version from DG that I found for $3. So I was very happy to get all these giant movie monster movies. But here's some VHS that you've probably seen up here. It's Godzilla vs. Gigan, Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster, and Godzilla vs. Monster Zero. One of the most bizarre, if you can ever find that one. But you can see I am a fan of the horror, the classic horror too. But going on, as I said, classic horror. 13 Ghosts, the original, one of the first 3D movies that they ever made. 13 times the thrills, 13 times the screams, 13 times the fun. It was a very cheesy, bizarre, early horror movie, and it does have some funny roles in it, but I still love this movie nonetheless. Just kind of like I like House on Haunted Hill and The Haunting and all them. It just fits in, and it being one of the first 3D movies ever made for, theaters. You gotta love it. And you have to check this out if you've never seen it. They did make the remake too, which was based on this, but definitely not as good in my opinion. I love the original. But I do like the other one as well, but it was made just so much different than this one. Let's see the year. 1966 was the year that this was made too. Here's Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. My ex-girlfriend actually had this in the collection before, but now she's my ex, so she took some of her DVDs off the collection. She was a Tim Burton fan, so, I have the Tim Burton Presents Tim R. Beck. I can't even say that. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, the movie. You see I have the poster up there, so I had to regain this movie for the collection. So I have that. And I also picked up this 4 favorites Robert De Niro collection. Men of Honor, Raging Bull, Robert De Niro, and Ronin, and The King of Comedy. This is like my 3rd version of Raging Bull now that I've picked up, but hey, can't have too many versions of Raging Bull. And The Vampire Hunter, I had to regain that one. Really cool in 3D too, if you can ever see it in 3D. Homefront. This is the one I have to shout out my really good friend that I've met, Frightmare Effects on YouTube. She was the one who pointed this movie out to me in the $5 bin. Jason Statham plays an ex-DEA agent. Stuff goes wrong when he's trying to hide out, down low, incognito from the DEA as a DEA agent. Off the grid, I guess you would say. James Franco plays the bad guy in here, the heel, I would say, of the movie. And you just have to watch it for yourself. I don't like to give away a lot of the movies, but me and her actually watched this movie together through the phone, so I will never forget Homefront. She actually told me to pick this up, and I did too. So I want to thank her very much for not only referring this to me, but for also the experience watching it together. I will never forget Homefront. Thanks, Frightmare Effects, and big ups to you on helping me discover and add that to my collection. Here we have one my dad picked me up. It's Gary Cooper in The Westerner, because I'm getting into a few Western movies here. This is a really, really good movie. He picked this up off of eBay, I believe, for me. And pretty good version, too. Can't go wrong with anything by Cary Grant. But it has just, 3rd Academy Award winning performance. He won the Academy Award for that. It was Bean. Walter Brennan. That was another guy I wanted to shout out from this. And, he was awesome as Judge Roy Bean, I think is what the name. Yeah, Judge Roy Bean. He was just so good in this movie. He actually won the Academy Award for the performance. And William Wyler, who created Ben-Hur, directed it, I should say, also directed this movie as well. It was an early work of his. Great movie. Here's some Paul Newmans that I added to the collection. Here's a 4-movie collection, Paul Newman. Another one of those Turner Classic Movies, Greatest Classic Legends film collection things by Turner Classic Movies. I love them. This one had 2 great ones that I didn't have. Cool Hand Luke, Somebody Up There Likes Me. It also had The Macintosh Man, which I did not have. I did have a version of Harper that I actually picked up before I picked up this one, but you can't ever have too many versions of Paul Newman. If I found him solo, I'd probably get the solo Cool Hand Luke and Somebody Up There Likes Me as well. But I was very happy to add all these movies from Paul Newman to my collection. I'm a huge Newman fan as well. My dad picked me this one up off of eBay. It's another classic with Paul Newman. He plays none other than Billy the Kid, hence the name. The Left-Handed Gun, groundbreaking Western about legendary outlaw. He does such a good job as Billy the Kid. I think it's one of the best portrayals ever. And it was also directed by Arthur Penn, one of my favorite directors of all time. And he has a commentary in this, and it's just great. I've listened to it. So Paul Newman, you can't beat that. I have a few minutes here, so I'm definitely going to grab some more movies that I added to the collection. Might as well It was a 64th birthday not too long ago when I made a vid. But here's a 3-movie Patrick Swayze collection: The Red Dawn, Roadhouse, and Youngblood. You have to love Roadhouse and Red Dawn, the originals. That's pretty much what I picked it up for. I've never seen Youngblood. It's the hockey movie. I've heard it's pretty bad, but I've never watched it. I definitely need to check it out. It doesn't look like one of his greatest efforts of all time. Rob Lowe also went at pre-Iron Man days there. But I also picked up the original Point Break, which I showed I had the VHS of this. Great movie. I love this movie. There they are in their president masks. One of the best bank robbery scenes I've ever seen in a movie. I've always loved this movie ever since I was a kid. And they did make that remake version, but just screw that. It's Patrick Swayze, Keanu Reeves. This is the best one, Point Break, which I do also have the VHS for. So some Patrick Swayze stuff there. Here's a triple feature that I picked up. And let's see who made this one. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer 3 film collection here. Carnal Knowledge, The Missouri Breaks, and Prizzy's Honor. That's the one that I wanted it for. I love this movie, Prizzy's Honor, if you've never seen it. But Missouri Breaks with Brando and Jack Nicholson, you can't beat. And they're all Jack Nicholson films. Carnal Knowledge had Jack Nicholson in it as well. Arthur Garfunkel from, yes, Simon and Garfunkel was in this movie. Can't beat that. I like those triple bonus buys that you can get a hold of. I already showed that I had Meet the Fockers, but I never did have Meet the Parents, so I had to pick that one up. I love these two movies, especially the first one is definitely better than the second one, but they're both great. Pick those up. I'm a fan of Ben Stiller, really. I'm kind of just pulling them out here now because I know I have a few minutes left. And I can go through showing some of these. Here's 2 of the Laugh Out Loud 3 movie collection DVDs that I picked up. And here's 6 movies right here. Zombieland, Not Another Teen Movie, 30 Minutes or Less. The original Ghostbusters, Groundhog Day, and Stripes. Love all these movies, so I was happy to grab it for all of them. But Zombieland and the Groundhog Day were the main attractions on both of these, but they're from the same collection there. I'm not sure who put these out. Looks like Sony Pictures put these out. Zombieland, one of my favorite zombie movies of all time. That's another one my ex-girlfriend got a hold of. You can't have too many copies of Ghostbusters. Stripes, a great one. I don't know whether to show it off or just call it here. Yeah, here's the Seth Rogen classic, Green Hornet. Had to have that. Seth Rogen, Jay Chow, Christoph Waltz, and Cameron Diaz. I kind of enjoyed this movie. I always heard it wasn't the greatest, but I actually enjoyed this movie. Got about a minute left here, so we can check some other ones out. Here's a 3-movie leading men collection. Harrison Ford in Air Force One. Then you have Jack Nicholson, Tom Cruise, A Few Good Men, and Clint Eastwood's In the Line of Fire. All very, very good movies. I love A Few Good Men, Air Force One, and that. I'm a big Notre Dame fan too, and they took a heartbreaking loss tonight, 50-47. But here's the movie Rudy. Also had radio on it, dropping DVDs. A double feature. And as you can see, I'm a big fan of these double feature ones. They're only like $3 at DG. But I'm going to show one more, and then I'm going to have to say peace out, guys. Here's Devil with the Blue Dress, Glory, Pelham, The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, and Philadelphia Story. All great movies. I love the movie Glory about the black brigade there. But yeah, guys, I want to thank everybody for watching, tuning in, and make sure you hit the subscribe, give me a like, give me a comment, and yeah, as always, guys, till 19.0, I want to say thanks for watching,